Oh, I love cold coffee in the summertime. Guys, it's summertime. Welcome to my studio. Let's paint. Hey guys, welcome to my studio. I'm going to show you guys kind of some of the behind the scenes of some of the work I'm doing this summer. It's summertime and I am committed to paint, hopefully all summer long. It's June 12th currently right now. This piece will not be released until June 23rd. This video will come after that because I haven't really shared much of this with anyone. But also just behind the scenes of my studio, how I make artwork, and how I don't know, attack the creative process, or how it attacks me, not quite sure. But yeah, just some fun times in the studio, aka garage. What I've done is I've taken these army men and I've spray painted them all white. I've got army men, I've got, I don't know if you can see this, cowboys, army men, I've got Indians, so cowboys and Indians, maybe if I hold it here you can see it, I don't know. Indians, I've got police officers, he's directing traffic, he's got a whistle and he's doing this. So anyway, I've got all these people. They're going down onto a plywood board. I'm going to glue them down on a plywood board. They're basically going to create visual texture. And then I'm going to do something I've never done before. I've never used epoxy. There we go. And I'm going to fill, I'll show you here in a second, I'm going to fill the whole piece of plywood with an epoxy resin. So you have the plywood, you'll have the army men, who will just kind of create this visual texture underneath, like so. So they'll be like that. And then hopefully there'll be about an inch of epoxy resin on top of them. On top of that, I'm going to come back on top of this once this hardens and do a white continuous line over that. The idea is that this one continuous line will create more visual texture and also kind of envelop, overshadow what's going on the plywood and these plastic figurines that I'm putting in the epoxy. And so I'm hoping the white line casts a shadow in through, once the light hits it, casts a shadow in through and over this visual texture of human bodies laying there. Once I'm done, once the epoxy sets, I will break off the edges that I've built here and I will sand the sides. So if you're looking at the side, you'll have the epoxy resin and you'll have the side of the wood. And I'm going to probably sand both, get them really nice and smooth. And I'm going to paint the white, I'm going to paint the wood part solid white, almost like a porcelain gloss white, because the white line is going to come over the edges and bleed into the white of the frame. So this whole piece is going to pretty much be solid white. So as you can see, I've got all the army men out here. I'll use some super 3M super multi-purpose adhesive on those, and yeah, I'm gonna have to put these down one by one because what I don't want them floating up in the epoxy and coming up to the top. I want the top to be nice and smooth. So here's the frame I've built around the whole thing. I've used silicone, I've sealed the edges here and all the way around. And another little feature I'm going to put in is this little fetus. So if we can focus on that. Painted this little guy white. He's going to go in here as well, just kind of hidden amongst the masses. We'll talk about him later in another episode. Anybody know who he is? It's a mountain range I'm working on. it'll completely change. So the goal today is to get them all glued down, mix the epoxy, pour it in, let it sit for 24 hours or so, and hopefully it dries. All right, here goes nothing. And let's hope that I've glued them all down well enough that they don't float to the top. That's the key. Just gonna pour nice and slowly. We'll also figure out whether or not my seals are gonna hold. I'm gonna need another gallon. It didn't quite cover like I wanted, so I've got to go get another, make another mixture of it. So you can see how some are still raised up above. It's done. At least the first pour is. Because I got to pour another layer on top of this, and then I'll be done. It's looking fantastic. All right, second pour is complete. Everything's covered except a little bit of the fetus. So here, look, check this out. There's a few bubbles, but I believe I can take a torch to those. I get to play with a torch. Here we go. For the record, the torch says not to light near an active pilot light. Everything's off, but for some reason this whole house blows up. This is why, okay? Just tell my wife I love her. It was for the art, man. Good morning, it is June 17th. This is completed. Today the object is to pop the molds off. It's a little tacky. I'm not sure, I've been doing a ton of research. I can rub my hand across it fine, like this. Feels fine. But when I go to touch parts of it, like so, it's just a little tacky. I don't know if that's gonna cause an issue with the white line that I'm gonna put over the top of it, kind of like this. So today, I'm breaking the mold off. It's been in here over 72 hours. It looks like it's only about a ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch thick. So we'll see. I'm hoping I can get these sides off. So yeah, here we go. Hello. So I came in with some wood putty, just kind of filled in some of the holes. Yeah, it's looking good. Got a couple pieces of stuff. Got a microfiber cloth here that I use to get all the dust off. But here are the edges. Come back and hit that with a little smooth sandpaper later. Here's all the mold. Yeah, I had to use the orbital sander to get a lot of the green tape off. There's still a little bit you can see right there. I'm gonna start the white line from the umbilical cord and just kind of come out so you can kind of see some of these guys here, and then just take the white line all the way out over the edge, and then the wood will be painted white, so the white line will just kind of go over and into the edge. There you go. Woohoo! Hung, ready to go. Here. Black Mesa, band out of Fort Collins, Colorado. You should check them out. I might throw the link below, but Black Mesa, they're great. I'm gonna crank up some Black Mesa and maybe some 21 Pilots and get busy. So, see you soon.
Jumpsuit, cover me.